What are the problems or limitations of Runnable? The first limitation is Runnable's run method itself. So Runnable's run method does not have a return type. It returns void, means nothing, right? So what if my task calculates a number or fetches data from a DB or calls an API, and I want to return the result of that operation back to the caller or the main thread, right? For example, suppose I have done this, I have calculated the sum and I want to return this sum. So can I do this return sum? I can't. Why? Because the return type itself is void. So how will I return it? This is a limitation, right? Now the second limitation with Runnable is exception cannot be caught by caller. What do I mean by this? Right? So consider this example where I have a Runnable, and inside the run method, what I have done, I have simply thrown an exception, correct? So I have passed that Runnable in a constructor and I have done thread.start. So what should happen? Inside this try, if any exception occurs, it should be catched using this catch block, correct? So if I write thread.start, internally this run method will be executed. This run method is throwing an exception. So this exception will be caught by this catch, and what will be printed? Our output should be exception thrown. Now let's go ahead and run this program and see what's the output is. So if you see the output, the issue here is exception thrown is not printed. Rather, whatever exception you have thrown, that stack trace is printed inside the console, correct? So this exception is not being catched by the caller, by the main thread which has actually executed the thread, correct? So what is happening here is run executes in another thread and exception is thrown in that thread. Now try catch is present in the main thread, and exception do not cross thread boundaries automatically, correct? So what happens here? The worker thread or this thread dies, stack trace is printed on the console, but the caller or the main thread has no idea that the task has failed. Now this is very dangerous in real systems. Why? Because if the caller doesn't know that the task executed in one of the threads has failed, then the caller cannot retry, it cannot fall back, and it cannot even log the error properly, correct? So Runnable has two major problems. The first problem is it cannot return a result, and the second problem is it cannot report exceptions back to the caller.